One way law enforcement work to protect and serve is by getting guns out of the hands of criminals. But we've discovered each year thousands of guns once used by officers have been discovered at crime scenes. CBS News partnered with nonprofit newsrooms, The Trace and Reveal. We surveyed 200 police agencies nationwide and found a majority sell their guns when they decide to upgrade their arsenal. So what about our local law enforcement? Well, we've found at least 5 agencies across the Bay Area that sell their weapons, but also 2 that choose not to. Kelsi Thorud has been looking into this. She joins us in studio now with all of the details. Kelsi.
Hey, Julia. Yeah, for months, we here at CBS News Bay Area, as well as our fellow CBS stations and the network, have been digging into what appears to be a common policy at law enforcement agencies across the country. When officers' weapons reach their end-of-use date, many departments sell those old weapons to gun dealers in exchange for a discount or credit towards buying new weapons for their departments. But some of the gun dealers in the U.S. are known to be irresponsible, possibly resulting in guns sold to them ending up being used in the commission of a crime. The problem is law enforcement agencies don't know which dealers are good and which are bad due to a federal law known as the Tiahrt Amendment, which bars disclosing most gun trace information. Now, our investigation has found instances of old police guns being found at crime scenes, leading to the question, is this policy of police selling their old weapons to dealers a good policy? Now, here in the Bay Area, we found 5 agencies that do sell their weapons. Those are the Alameda County Sheriff's Office, the San Francisco Police Department, the Santa Clara County Sheriff's Office, Contra Costa County Sheriff's Office, and the Oakland Police Department. We reached out to all 5 agencies. Only one, the Oakland Police Department, responded. They declined an interview, instead providing a short statement saying, quote, "The Oakland Police Department's standard practice is to exchange our dated service weapons for credit, which is in turn used to purchase new weapons." Now, according to records requests, it's estimated those 5 agencies alone have sold over 4,000 guns. That is something Josh Scharf with the Brady Center to Prevent Gun Violence says is concerning.
So when they are selling or transferring decommissioned firearms to gun dealers, they may not know that they are ultimately selling guns to gun dealers that supply the criminal market.
Now, one way to prevent that possibility is to not sell old guns to dealers at all. 2 departments here in the Bay Area are choosing that approach, the San Jose Police Department and the San Francisco County Sheriff's Office. I sat down with San Francisco County Sheriff Paul Miyamoto to discuss why his department is choosing not to sell their guns. San Francisco County Sheriff Paul Miyamoto says in his 28 years of service at the Sheriff's Office, it has always been their policy to destroy their decommissioned service weapons.
We want to avoid any vestiges that we have any involvement in what happens to a firearm after purchase with a third party.
Unlike other departments who sell their old weapons to gun dealers, Sheriff Miyamoto says his agency only offers retiring officers the opportunity to buy their personal service weapon. All other weapons are sent out for destruction.
We just choose not to do it that way so that we know we have full control of our firearms from the moment we purchase them to the moment that they're distributed to our staff, to the moment that they're collected and stored, and then to the moment that they're destroyed.
The sheriff told me he knows many other departments choose to sell their weapons to dealers, and he can see why.
Because of the financial benefit of having that become a part of your overall budgeting or funding for other items or for other material things.
But for his office, the peace of mind that comes with destroying the weapons outweighs any financial incentive.
There's always a challenge as to whether or not there's a need to fill that funding gap. I think that the concept of selling back to a responsible FFL, federal firearms licensee, is absolutely something which we would hope would lead to responsible gun ownership when purchased by that third party. The unfortunate part is what we mentioned earlier in terms of gun safety itself, which is a lot of different crimes have been committed by people that are irresponsible or have had their firearms stolen. And that's what we're challenged with, is trying to find that balance.
The sheriff told me he understands why the policy of departments selling their old weapons can be controversial. The number of guns on the streets in this country remains a huge issue. The sheriff says the most important thing any department can do is work to make sure every gun that is out there is owned by a responsible party.
The ultimate goal is to make sure anybody who does possess a firearm legally does so responsibly and safely. And I think that's part of the key to making sure that we get into a better place where there are less guns out there.
His office is doing what they can to contribute to that solution by making sure their weapons are destroyed rather than added to the count.
Kelsi, following up on this, I didn't know this, but it's hard to find out where they end up, to trace them, and that's because of a federal law on the data. So is there any attempt to try to change that?
Yeah, it's interesting. Josh Scharf, who we talked to with the Brady Center, his center there, they're actually lobbying to try and overturn the Tiahrt Amendment. They believe that this data should be open to the public, so everyone in the country knows where these guns are coming from.
Right, to have kind of a beginning, middle, and end, where it ended up. All right, thank you. Fascinating. I appreciate that research and getting that interview.